Sometimes you have one of those impromptu conversations, and it's so good. You gotta you gotta take the word and get it out. That's what that conversation was for me this morning with Coach Jason Fry. We did a Twitter Spaces, and we took a podcast episode, one that he picked, one that he really liked, and so we just kind of jam sessioned out on that podcast. And at the end, he asked me, he said, "What is one takeaway that you got from the podcast?" And the episode that we listened to was the Emergency Mind podcast, and they featured Cherie Johnson. She's a psychologist and a coach for doctors. And he asked me, Jason did. He said, "What's one thing that you took away from it?" And I said, "The biggest thing that stood out for me was resilience." And I'm a big resilience fan. When I hear the word resilience, I just kind of geek out over it. When you hear resilience, what do you think resilience is? And many times people think that resilience is just being tough enough to get back up. But that's not what resilience is, because if all you did is you just fell down, get up, fall down, get up, fall down, get up, that's not enough. And Cherie Johnson speaks to this. And she says, what resilience is our true resilience is the ability to fall down, assess, adapt, learn, and go forward with new capacities. Hi, welcome to another edition of The Sales Life. I'm your host, Marsh, and I want to talk to that real quick, man, about what resilience is for you, because it's not enough to just scrape your knees up and get back up and say, "Oh, I'm tough enough." Good morning, Nat. This is what's super important. So let's break this down. Resilience is falling down. It is getting back up. That is super important, but that's a fraction of what is necessary. So it's getting back up, but then it's assessing, where am I at? What's the situation? It's adapting. Are you flexible? These are thoughts that you have to ask yourself. Am I flexible? If you're not willing to adapt, that is proof positive. You're too rigid in your thoughts. You're not being flexible. If you can't adapt, you can't grow, you can't soar, and you'll never learn. So it's assessing, where am I at? It's adapting. And then also it's learning. Learning means that you are willing to take ownership with where you are. When you assess, when you adapt, then you take on the learning aspect. What is the specific role that you play in this? You can't learn if all you do is you blame and you say, "Well, it's not my fault. My manager had it out for me. This customer was a jerk. This administration sucks." That's not it's not going to get you anywhere. So when you learn, you're willing, what is the role that I play in this specifically? What is something that I can apply? And then you move forward with new capacities. See, those new capacities are everything that you've learned. So case in point in sales, let's just take that because I'm in sales. So to be resilient in sales, swap out the whatever profession that you're in. To be resilient in life, which is why I call it the sales life, means that, okay, you fall down. We're all going to fall down. You better fall down. I hope you fail today. So it is falling down. But then also, when you get back up, assess the situation. Now that you've assessed the situation, where am I? Where am I heading? What direction? Do I like that direction? If you don't, assess it. Then what you do is you adapt, you position. So maybe there were some things in a customer, maybe you were working with a customer, and so it didn't come out the way you wanted to. Assess it. What were some things that you could have done different? Adapt to those things that you could have done different. Learn and apply what you could have done different. And then as you move forward, you're moving forward with new capacities. Why move forward with the same capacities? And many times people don't move forward with actually their capacities shrink, and their capacities shrink because they're getting tighter and tighter with what they're learning, what they're willing to take ownership with. And you start off in a profession with a huge ball, and then it gets smaller and smaller and smaller until you're playing so tight and so minimal that you don't get anything out of it. I tell my salespeople this all the time. Just because it didn't result in a sale, it's okay. Because what you got to learn, it's not just the sale. Nothing is for nothing. It's the experiences that you've gotten along the way. Because for every one customer that I talk to, there's probably 15 to 20 different experiences that I had in that one customer. What's up, Steve? In that one customer. So if you take that experience that you just had and you look at all those, you got 20 different experiences, but you'll never know and you'll never learn if all you do is you just get punched in the mouth and you say, okay, I'm next. No. So a key component of resilience, circle back around because I want to reinforce this. A key component of resilience is not about just getting up. It's about once you get up, assessing where you are, adapting with the direction that you need to take, learning. What's the key component? What did I learn in this situation? And what's my take in this? And then moving forward with new capacities. So let's move forward in our day. I want you to be resilient. Remember, the greatest sale that you will ever make is to sell you on you. Thank you so much for tuning in. What's up, Russell? I'm going to hang out here for a second. Good morning, my brother. Capture and enjoy this day. Russ, we're going to do that, man. Definitely. Steve, happy late birthday to you, man. Sorry, I missed it. I was probably about a week late. So happy birthday to you. Nat, appreciate you always tuning in, man. And I think you're up there in the Ozarks, are you not? Y'all tell me what y'all got planned for today. I'm going to hang on here for a few minutes. Let's see. Yes. All right, cool, man. So what's the weather like up there right now? While I'm waiting to hear about 80. Oh, wow. I didn't think it would be 80 degrees up there. Let me get you on the shout out to my man Nat. Shout out to Russ. What's happening, brother? And then Steve, man, hook up with him. All your generator needs. He will hook you up. That way you won't be flat-footed when the storm comes, right, Steve? Well, what is resilience to you? Leave it in the comments below. What is that? Yeah, see, I thought it was I don't know. When I think of the Ozarks, you think of the mountains. Of course, I think of the Netflix show too. But yeah, I would think that it was going to get cooler. I didn't think it would be 80 degrees up there. That's cool. Rock it out, man. What is resilience to you? Leave it on the comments below. I'd love to get your take. Steve, what's resilience to you, man? You always have the lag here. Anyway, while I'm waiting for some comments to drop in, because sometimes there's a little bit of lag, but the framework, what is resilience? Resilience is all about, it's not just falling down, it's about being adaptive, it's assessing, or it's assessing, adapting, learning, and then moving forward with new capacity. So the comment I'd love to hear from you is what is resilience? What's your take on that? Because a lot of times, we just think of just being tough, muscling through, and it's not about that at all. You know, um, what is her name? Oh, Nina Salzman Pogue. Just went blank. Friends with her right there on Facebook. Great author. And she's big on resilience too. And she talks about resilience. And she's like, Marsh, if you really likened it or related resilience to um, the COVID situation, she's like, just a lot of times people think it's just grit, it's just muscling through. And it's not about that at all. It's not about muscling through. Because you can muscle through a pandemic, but nothing's gonna, there's only so much you can do. Resilience is the ability, flexibility is the number one thing that you have to maintain. When you're so rigid, then the tighter you are, the harder you're going to break. And so, it's making things personal, not taking them personal. When you take the things personal, then that's when you take it as a personal assault. And many times, life's not picking on you, man. Sometimes life is just, it's not, it's calling you out, and it just wants you to basically, it's calling you out to, sometimes it's an awareness that um, you have to be adjusting. Maybe you've lulled yourself to sleep. Maybe you're a little bit complacent, whatever the case may be. So you have these situations. So a part of resilience is that flexibility to be able to navigate and to be able to move around as well. So enough about resilience. And I don't want to tie up much of your time. So anyway, because I got to get to work, I got to go bust a sweat and then get to work. So drop your comments below. What is resilience to you? And if you never gave it much thought at all, give this some thought. It's about falling down. It's about getting back up and assessing, adapting, learning, moving forward with new capacities. So with that, remember, the greatest sale that you will ever make is to sell you on you, because you're more than enough. Stay amazing. Stay in the sales life.